Morning, everybody. All right. Friday, May 14th. It is currently 62 degrees in New Jersey, climbing to a balmy 81 this afternoon. Hi, everybody. What a week. What a week, not only in New York and New Jersey, but a week on this show and a week at Pollock Isaac DeSico. We had an absolute record of phone calls coming in, people asking for help, taking advantage of those free consultations. Dozens of people had their questions answered, and just wonderful news that families are coming to us and seeking help for them and their family in adjusting their status and changing their life for the better. Also, a wonderful week for personal injury. I'm proud to announce that Matthew Goodstein, my associate extraordinaire, who has yet to be on this show, and we were actually joking about it yesterday during our personal injury afternoon Zoom meeting, that when are we bringing Matthew on? And maybe we'll have to bring him on soon. I don't know. He's sitting there right now fielding phone calls that are coming in, but maybe we have to put that phone on hold and let Ralston, the Yardman,
and moderating the lives. He's also moderating our Facebook Live. He's always moderating. Great guy.
He had a case that I'm so proud of. It was a car accident case. The insurance company was offering $100,000 or $125,000, and we just said that it was close, but it wasn't the right number. We really felt that the case was worth between 150 and 200,000. So they wouldn't budge. They wouldn't come up the extra 25 or 50 grand. So we had an arbitration last week or 2 weeks ago, and we just got the decision. An arbitration is an out of court binding hearing. There was somebody that heard the case, a former judge heard the case, heard the evidence, and made a decision. $200,000. So we got the money that we were going for our client. Super exciting. The client is ecstatic. Of course, Matthew and myself are thrilled that we were able to deliver, the wonderful knockout blow, knockout punch to get him full compensation. So kudos to Matt Goodstein. And that's what we do here at the PI firm at PPID, the case handler team. We're knocking it out of the park. We're continuing, despite being out of the office and out of the court. We don't know when we'll be able to be back in court, but there are proceedings still occurring just virtually, just like this. How you guys are seeing me right now and how you guys are hearing me right now. Judges will be hearing cases. Court attorneys will be hearing cases and making important decisions to make sure that people's cases are advanced. Because remember, cases are not just situations that you should, just allow to lay around and collect. These are people's lives. People have a case because they need justice, whether it's financial justice, which is personal injury, right? The civil system of the United States of America, when it comes to tort law and negligence law, allows for one remedy and one remedy only. That is money, right? And the same thing is justice and immigration. If you're here and you need to adjust your status and you're trying to better yourself and your family, then the justice you need is through the immigration services. But it all starts with that phone call. We're going to give out the number. Now I gotta put on my background, man. I don't know if you remember, Squeeze, but we used to play that 10 years ago. You and I started that. Yep. We used to play the OJs every time I would come on. And then I had switched platforms. I was doing the afternoons, and that was my extra every day. That song, the OJ's Money, 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 was played every day at the end of my show for the past 5 years. The fact that you're bringing that back makes me feel great. But again, it's all about saving the number, having the number, hopefully never needing the number, but God forbid you do. 844-774-3529. That's 844 PPID.
Come on, Conrad, help me out here, man. You know what you want to call the personal injury attorney. You know exactly what you want to call him. So why don't you just play the track already? You know what you want to call him.
Well, you haven't given me my key there. I haven't heard that magic word.
He hates it. He hates the name, but he is truly a shark, people.
And if I'm the shark, then Goodstein is the killer whale, because
There you go.
what we're doing during these times is truly epic. You know, I connect with colleagues of mine, you know, similarly situated personal injury attorneys that, you know, through no fault of their own, aren't able to really get the results that they're accustomed to getting during these times. They're just either not equipped, or maybe don't have the reputation with the carriers and other law firms. But literally, you know, we've settled almost 70 cases this year. 70. Our record, we
Wow.
set the all-time record last year in the personal injury department at 168 cases for over $25 million. Last year was a banner record year. We just crushed it, blew it out of the water. And this year, we're just not that far off. I mean, we're almost 70 cases. We're half the year through. We're almost at $12 million for the year. So we're on pace. It may be a photo finish, but, you know, considering that we're even having this conversation, that we're even getting close to last year's unbelievable numbers, I think is a testament to the dedication of the Case Handler team and a dedication to PPID in general. I mean, we are absolutely open for business. We're not just sitting on our arses, you know, twiddling our thumbs and not doing what we need to do. We're out here, we're promoting the firm, we're answering questions, and we're helping people get real legal solutions to their legal problems. And with that said, I'm going to introduce my partner, the managing partner of Pollock, Isaac Zico, the maestro himself, although the maestro everywhere else other than his own home, Conrad Pollock. Good morning, Conrad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little slow this morning. I think I haven't finished my first cup of coffee, and usually by the time I start the show, I'm on my third.
Pick it up, man.
I know. You know, as you get on in years, you know, it's harder and harder to get up in the morning.
Well, listen, you know,
Right?
if the general can do it, yesterday we had Alan Kay, you know, a gentleman that's been practicing immigration law for 40 years. He was up for the task. I have no doubt that you
I was right. No, I was saying he'd been practicing for 50 years, and I was right. He admitted it after the show.
Oh, he did. Oh, really?
So Alan will be coming back on the show next Thursday. In fact, I think we're going to make him a regular Thursday visitor. We've been discussing it. And but I was right. He's been at it for 50 years. So combine his 50 with my 35 and the Mavericks 13. We have almost a century's worth of immigration experience.
Unbelievable. And I was telling Squeeze that, you know, it's important to add that we're practicing attorneys. Everybody that comes on this show is an actual practicing attorney. We're not just here promoting our firm, promoting our practice, you know, saying we can help you and then dishing it off to somebody else. Everybody that comes on this show has a computer on their desk, has files on their desk, meets with clients, deals with clients, goes to court. And I think that's something that sets us apart from most law firms out there, advertising in New Jersey, New York, and across the nation, in that we truly are the practicing attorneys. We have time right now to do the social media platform and the radio show, but eventually business is going to get back to normal, and we're going to be in our suits, pounding the pavement, you know, riding the subways, taking Ubers, going to court, you know, kicking butt. And it's something that I think I'm certainly proud of, and everybody out there listening should say, hey, man, you know, if everything's equal, I'd rather go with the lawyers that are actually going to be handling my case. Nelson's going down to North Carolina next week, right, Nelson? Or next week or next month?
No, actually, June.
That is next month, brother.
Yes.
I hate to break it to you.
You know,
May is almost over.
Listen, if Conrad hasn't finished his first cup of coffee, I've only had a couple of sips of coffee at the moment.
And what kind of case are you? Everybody listening? This is Nelson, the Maverick Madrid,
Maverick,
one of the partners. Nelson, what kind of case are you working on in North Carolina? Why are you going so far?
So basically, there is a gentleman who had apparently hired. It's actually a husband and wife. They had hired multiple attorneys in the past, and basically the immigration officer told them that they need to hire a real attorney who actually knows what he's doing. It seems that his attorneys were basically showing up without a game plan in place. Anytime you have to meet with an immigration officer, you want to demonstrate, again, that you are eligible for relief. You want to demonstrate that you are eligible for relief. You want your attorney to be able to speak their language. You want the attorney to be able to explain what the plan is. There is a plan, and there's something we can do to keep you legally in the country. And I think
immigration, I'm sorry, Nelson, immigration's federal, right? It's not like other aspects of the law, matrimonial, if you're getting a divorce, you need a lawyer in the state where you live. Immigration is federal, meaning we can do immigration work, whether it's in New York or California or Alaska. I spent half of my day yesterday talking or emailing with people, with clients or prospective clients that are not anywhere near New York. I talked to one who was in England. I talked to one who was in Montana. I spoke to someone, or I exchanged emails yesterday frequently with the gentleman in California. We deal with clients all over the place. Nelson's going to North Carolina next month, but a week after that, he may be going to Texas. A week after that, Alan might be going to Buffalo at the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. We do work everywhere. We get calls, we get emails, we get shout outs from all over the world, not just all over the country in the metropolitan region.
And it could also be going out of the country also.
Since we started this show, as a matter of fact, I am constantly now getting emails and we're having consultations with people down in Jamaica, down in the Caribbean. It's becoming more and more common, which is great. Love it.
Right. Actually, someone.
We get an invite to go down to the beach
I've seen where people, got deported. This one is for you, Maverick. Got deported to Jamaica, and they were really a citizen. They were really a citizen, but they got deported not knowing that they were a citizen. You see what I'm saying? So there will be cases, I am 100% sure, that you will need to represent where people got deported unfairly because of a conviction, but really they were a citizen. All right. So, situations like that, as Conrad says, it's federal. It doesn't matter where in the world, as long as it has to do with U.S. immigration. The law firm PPID can handle it. And you don't want to use another law firm. You really don't, ladies and gentlemen. Every single day I find out more about this wonderful law firm that's been helping people in the capacity of immigration. It's unbelievable. Yesterday we had, I almost want to say, let's call him the general, Alan Kay, on an attorney that's got so much debt. This man has links and connections with people in the Department of Homeland Security, meaning that he can pick up the phone, he can send email, he can call people when he wants to actually speak with someone to find out what's going on with your case or what's going on, period. That is the reason why I say go with PPID. That is the reason why I say whether it's personal injury with, of course, the Shark, aka the case handler, or it's immigration with Conrad Pollock or Nelson Madrid, respectively, the Maestro and the Maverick, you don't need any other firm. You only need PPID. You only need the case handler. All right. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. If you call now, you will get a 100% free immigration consultation. And obviously, if you get into an accident, you call the same number, and that is 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Gentlemen, I apologize about the interruption.
No, it's important. Sometimes we get wrapped up in all this legalese and the exciting news that we handle ourselves, and we need somebody to remind everybody how they actually can call us. It's important.
And by the way, Squeeze, picking up on what you were just saying about that citizenship situation, we do see that on occasion where we'll get a call from somebody, 50, 60, 70 years old, and they'll say, I was born in Russia, and, I never have evidence that I was a U.S. citizen. But, I've been living in the United States all my life, and I have a driver's license, I have a social security number, but I went to get a passport, and I couldn't get one because I couldn't prove that I was a U.S. citizen. Can you help us? Frequently in a situation like that, even if the person wasn't born in the United States, if their parents were citizens, lived in the United States for a certain period, either before the child's 14th birthday, and a certain amount of time before the 14th birthday, a certain amount of time after the 14th birthday, that person could qualify for what is known as derivative citizenship. There are frequent situations that we've dealt with. Nelson, am I right?
That is correct. Actually, we have a case. We have someone who reached out to us recently who applied for citizenship. he should have never applied for citizenship. But still, one of the questions I asked was when his father naturalized, because he may have acquired derivative citizenship and should have filed an N-600 instead of an N-400. And that's important because obviously even the form, if you complete the incorrect form, then you're not entitled to the benefit because you basically missed the mark.
And we've seen, probably in the last couple of years, we've seen this situation much more frequently than we ever have in the past, because now it's become obviously so much more important to become a U.S. citizen, because when you just have a green card, unfortunately, you still remain at risk for various reasons.
I just remembered, actually, I have a case right now, Conrad. I'm sure you remember this. I have a client who's presently incarcerated, serving a jail sentence. And he reached out to us, he hired us, and we believe he acquired derivative citizenship. So he is a citizen. So ICE showed up to pay him a visit and speak to him. And he said, I am a citizen. I filed, an application for my citizenship based on the fact that my father was a citizen. I entered as a permanent resident. I was in the custody of my father. And basically we mailed him a copy of his receipt notice. And after ICE obviously saw we filed citizenship, or we filed for citizenship for him, I'm not sure ICE has paid him another visit since. So I think it's important to mention instances like that, because again, had our client not been proactive, there's a high likelihood he may have ended up in ICE's custody, or he may have ended up back home. So it's important.
Well, while we're on the subject, citizenship, it is so important. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that have green cards for a long time, and to be eligible for U.S. citizenship, in a nutshell, you have to have a green card typically for 5 years, 3 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen, but typically you have to have it for 5 years. You have to live in the country for at least half of those previous 5 years, and basically have a clean record, pay your taxes, and otherwise a good citizen. These days it's just so important to file for citizenship if you're eligible, not just because you can vote, and not just because you will be in a faster line when you enter the United States at the airport, but also it enables you to apply for your family members and if you do, the process is usually much faster. Plus, citizens are eligible to apply for more classes, a larger class of relatives than are permanent residents. And again, just these days, with the political situation as it is,
Can I say something, Conrad, about what you're saying?
Let me finish my thought. But getting your citizenship protects you. You can't then be threatened. They can't take it away from you if something goes wrong. Yeah, it's just so. To me, it would just, if I were in that situation, it would just allow me to sleep better at night.
Yeah, and I that's exactly what I was going to say, but I'm going to add it in a profound way. And by the way, Conrad, I mean, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, it's 3 years, but it's like a few months before the 3 years, the anniversary date, right?
You can apply for citizenship 3 months before your 3 or 5 year anniversary. That's right.
How am I doing, Nelson? Do I know my sheesh or what?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
All right, but
by the way, the fees, if not for the pandemic, the U.S. citizenship, USCIS filing fees were supposed to go up already. They delayed it, but naturalization fees right now, it costs $725 the filing fee. That's going to go up way high, over $1,000. So if anyone's out there thinking of filing for citizenship, do it. Now's the time, because it's going to cost you a lot more money soon, whether you use a lawyer or not.
And I'm going to be a bit profound. Piss off some people and all of that stuff, but I really don't care. Okay, listen. Everyone out there who can become a citizen should become a citizen. Okay, I'm not being biased. Everyone should be. But I'm telling you this, if you're a people of color, you need to become a citizen, because you are a goddamn target. I said it. Okay, you are a target. Okay, you might not hear the attorney say it, but Squeeze is saying it. And you all know, I'm not afraid to open up my mouth to speak to you, Caribbean community, speak to you, Black people, speak to you, people of color, speak to you, Latinos. I'm not. It's the truth, okay? And I'm disclaiming that myself. If you are of color and you can get your citizenship, you need to do that, because you are a target, okay? I grew up in the Bronx. I know. Okay. And if you're out there now and you're in the Trump era, I'm literally saying it to you. You're silly not to file for your citizenship when you got that guy in the White House trying to kick our ass. So what I'm saying to you, you've got a green card. Even if you've got some issues, we've got a Maverick. Talk to him. He deals with a lot of people who have had arrest. But even if you don't have arrest and you got a green card, come on. Don't sit around and say nothing is going to happen to you. Do you know how many times growing up in the Bronx, I'm minding my own business and I get pulled over? I'm minding my own business, walking down the block, and I got DTs running up on me growing up. And the first thing they're asking about is your status and all of that. It's happening in Brooklyn. It's happening in Queens. It's happening in the Bronx. It's happening everywhere. You got ICE running up on people all over the place. They're in the subways, all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can become a citizen, you heard what Nelson was talking about, the Maverick. You heard what the Meister was talking about, Conrad Pollock. You heard what Adam Handler initiated here. I am saying to you, pick up the phone, call the law firm PPID, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Do you know how many times people call me up and say, I got arrested, I'm in deep doo-doo, I need a backhoe to dig myself out of it, okay? Splashing it all over other people. Guess what? I say to them, why didn't you become a citizen? You've been here 10, 20 years and you didn't do anything. Oh, you know, man, I'm a yardie, I'm a Jamaican, you know, I don't want to give up my citizenship. You're not giving up your citizenship if you're a Jamaican. You can have dual citizenship. Right. 844-774-3529, and I'll let Conrad add to that.
Yeah, actually, good point. I didn't mention that. The United States recognizes dual citizenship. So, I mean, there are a few countries out there, Jamaica's not one of them, but there are a few countries out there that don't. But the United States recognizes dual citizenship. So if you apply for U.S. citizenship, you can keep your Jamaican citizenship or your Israeli citizenship or what have you. So that isn't the reason not to do it. You know, plus, you know, I glossed over the fact that citizens are allowed to vote. You know, it's so important. Look, this is not a political show, but it's so important that everybody who is a citizen get out there to vote. And if you have no other incentive to file for citizenship, that should be enough to vote, get out there, and every vote counts, you know, and given what's going on in the country, it's just so important, you know, that really, if you're a citizen, you must vote. Otherwise, you can't complain. If you don't vote, you have no voice. You shouldn't be complaining about what's going on in the country.
Conrad, if I could interject for 1 second, not just, you know, let me be clear. Applying for citizenship is not just completing an application, okay? I have a client right now who made a false claim to U.S. citizenship on a U.S. citizenship employment form. Right now, that person who applied for citizenship is permanently inadmissible and now removable.
That's about the worst thing you could do under the immigration law.
Okay, and now removable. And, you know, I come to find out, you know, I said, well, you should have consulted with an attorney. And they said, well, we did. And the attorney told us that we could go ahead and file for citizenship. I said, you got a huge problem. You got a huge problem because now you could get put into removal proceedings. You know, now you could end up in immigration court fighting deportation from the United States.
And this is someone who called from the radio show last week. I saw it.
Right.
You know?
And it's someone who called, it's a radio listener. But, you know, my point is applying for citizenship is not as simple as just completing an application. As you would say, Squeeze, it behooves anyone who is interested in applying for citizenship, speak to a lawyer. I mean, look, honestly, if you want to do it on your own, you know, again, and you heard from Mr. K yesterday actually say, you know, yes, you could do it on your own. Good luck at the interview.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
and along the lines of what you were just talking about, Nelson, I remember a case way back when, you probably remember as well, this is going back a few years. We had a gentleman who applied for citizenship, and it turned out that he claimed to be a U.S. citizen on some loan application that he had done. Do you remember that? This is years, it was some obscure loan application. He'd done 10, 20 years.
And they found that.
Somehow the government dug it up and found that he applied for this loan as a U.S. citizen when in fact he wasn't. And not only did they deny his citizenship application, they tried to deport him.
Yeah, worst possible.
Again, claiming U.S. citizenship, if you're not a citizen, is about as bad a thing as you can do under the immigration law. There is no excuse. There is no waiver. You're basically screwed if you do that. This guy, I forget how we were able to get him off what we did. We were able to argue that it was immaterial to his application, and we were successful in doing it. Since then, however, under the current administration, they've tightened up those rules. In fact, there is a special unit that the Trump administration has created to go after, to review citizenship applications and to go after those people that applied for citizenship and were approved, but may have lied or may have committed fraud on the
Hold on
application.
1 minute, Conrad, because we're going to the top of the hour, and I don't want us to get cut off without giving out the number. And I know Adam was about to jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, another intense show here. Nothing like it on this station. Absolutely nothing. Why? Because we have super experienced attorneys. You heard Nelson, he can't stop. You heard Conrad, they can't stop. Respectively, immigration attorneys, ladies and gentlemen. And right there between both of them, they have over 40 years of immigration experience. They know what the sheesh they're doing.
No, 50 years.
Okay.
Between the two of them, 50 years. It's 13 for
Between the two of them, over 50 years. And the firm has been around for over 50 years.
yeah.
So right now, listen, filing your citizenship, yeah, people can get up and say, I'll just go fill out a form and file my citizenship. But if you have ever been arrested or been in any kind, you don't even know. Call the firm first. Okay, if any kind of immigration benefits that you need to go for it, do me a favor. Pick up the phone. You will get a free consultation. Free. Speak to an attorney for free. Where's that happening these days for immigration? And I'm talking about immigration attorneys. These attorneys, okay, Conrad Pollock and Nelson, they don't do any other kind of law. They have other attorneys like Adam Handler. He doesn't do immigration.
Well, what do I do,
Just
Sweet?
for the money. That's
What
what,
do
he
I do?
does. You know, so what I'm saying is this: call one firm, PPID, the number, and I'll be slow, 844-774-3529. That is 844-774-3529. I need everyone that's listening to this radio program on 93.5 FM, watching us on Facebook on David Squeezanik's Facebook page, my page, or the Case Handlers page, or PPID's page. Dial this number now, and I am guaranteeing you, along with the attorneys, that you will get a free phone consultation. Book it now, but try to call before the top of the hour. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. If you're planning now on filing for your citizenship and you've ever filled out a form incorrectly, talk to the attorneys. Be truthful with the attorneys. Let them do what they do best as immigration attorneys. And don't forget, we've got the general. Yeah, the man with the links. You understand, the man with the connections, okay, with the Department of Homeland Security. You want that kind of energy on your side. You want that kind of power on your side. So once again, whether it's the Maverick or the Maestro or the General, 3 top immigration attorneys at the law firm PPID, make sure you book a consultation, at least to speak with one of them absolutely free. And then after that, do the right thing. Retain them. Don't fix your car yourself because you're not a mechanic. Don't file your immigration papers yourself because you're not an immigration attorney. Don't use some consultant down the block. And I know a lot of them hate me for that because since 1996, I've been saying, why would you want to screw around with your status here in the United States? People are getting kicked out for making simple mistakes. Okay?
Same thing for personal injury. You know, we haven't discussed it enough during this segment, but personal injury, you're just as vulnerable when either you're doing it by yourself, which I would never recommend. At least get some attorney. If not me, get a crappy attorney. But
No.
you want to go.
They got to get you.
You want to go with the guy that rolls up to you at the scene of the accident or in the emergency room, and people do, man. Maybe they give you $500. Hey, come with me. Listen, I wish you the best of luck, but if you think that you're going to have the successful results that we're able to obtain here at PPID, you're wrong. You know, Matt Goodstein, again, you know, he could have taken that $100,000, maybe the 125,000, but we understood the client's got one chance and the client had one choice of attorney and the client chose the case handler team. So the fact that we held out, felt for every last dollar, perfect example, paid dividends. Could have accepted 100, wound up getting 200. You tell me any other legal proposition in which you can flip 100 into 200 in literally less than a week. It's impossible.
They don't need any other attorney. All they need is you when it comes to getting hurt in an accident. And the number is 844-774-3529. Hands down, you have proven yourself, Adam. Okay, 844-774-3529. 3529. Call the case handler. We're flipping over to Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now we continue the show. Gentlemen, I love this intense. Every day the show gets more intense, and I love that. I love that. I love that. All right. But Adam, I also need for you to actually give us a true success story in a couple of minutes. I don't know if Conrad or Nelson want to top that off, and then we're going to talk a little bit on personal.
Yeah, why don't we take a few questions, because I know like people were saying that we didn't take enough questions yesterday.
Yeah,
why don't we do a few immigration questions?
You know,
give me the keys so I can drive the bus after we're done. Hit up the gallery view and
go ahead.
Let's get going.
Very quickly before we take a question, you know, the gentleman who filed for citizenship, just again, it wasn't even an arrest. It was something he said that affected his application.
On a loan application that he had done 20 years
Right.
earlier.
And that's important to point out because, again, everyone thinks, you know, well, I haven't been convicted of a felony. Like, no, that's not the only thing that would disqualify you. There's other variables that they take into account. So I just wanted to, you know, point that out, and I will turn it over to Adam.
Well,
I like listening to these PI.
Hang on. Citizenship also, you know, look, the administration, there, as I've said, look, the Immigration Service is not your friend, never has been, and certainly isn't today. And I say it all the time, immigration is a minefield, citizenship included. In fact, the administration, the citizenship, USCIS, they now are trying, they look to deny naturalization applications more than ever before. I mean, yes, it's always been an issue, but more so now than ever. The citizenship application form, the N-400, I don't know, what is it, 25 pages long now? You know, it used to be 4 pages long, not that long ago. You know, they are trying to deny not just permanent residents, keeping people out, but they're looking to deny citizenship applications as well, because in the administration's view, every immigrant that ends up becoming a U.S. citizen goes Democrat. So do the math. So of course they're going to try to deny it. That's one additional reason to deny applications. All right, you're laughing, Nelson, but it's a fact. It's a fact.
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen, let's jump right into it. Going to take a question now, and then we're going to jump it over to, of course, a true success story from our case handler, aka the Shark. I dub him that. All right. All right. So here's an immigration question. I am getting ready to file the I-864, and I have a question. So myself and my husband are the only ones that live in my house. I'm applying for my husband who is in the U.S. illegally. I work. I don't make the required amount for a household of 2. My illegal husband works also, and our incomes put together would qualify us for the dollar amount required for the I-864. But since he is the applicant and working illegally, should I use mine and his income, or should I find a sponsor?
Go ahead, Nelson. You see that? He's doing an adjustment on our own, as you can see.
I was about to say, but you guys are the attorneys, you know?
Right. Also, again, remember February 24th, 2020 squeeze. Mm-hmm. Right? So yep. she's not even talking about that.
Yeah.
But you know, anytime you petition for someone, it's your income typically that immigration looks at. Either you have the required income or you do not. If you do not, you need to get a joint sponsor. Now, again, as of February 24th, 2020, there is what is known as a Declaration of Self-Sufficiency, I-944, that she's going to have to include in her application for her husband. She should take a look at that, and then maybe try giving us a call.
I think she should just call you right off the bat.
She's right concerned about her husband being here illegally. She's going to submit that 864 application, and in a few months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever it is, she's going to get an RFE from immigration asking, well, where's your I-944 form that's required since February 20th? And she's going to go online and she's going to look at that form. She's going to see it's 20 pages long and that the instructions are 10 pages long. Okay? Not something you want to be doing yourself.
Right. And you heard from the general yesterday. It takes attorneys several hours to complete that form. So best of luck to her.
Go figure. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, cruising with the case handler. Call now. Immigration, 844-774-3529. Personal injury, seek out the case handler, 844-774-3529. 3529. Let's kick it over to the shark, aka the case handler, the man who has settled well over $110 million for his clients and counting. And counting. I believe, even with the pandemic situation, Adam, I know that you are going to break last year's record. You may want to unmute. You may want to unmute. Let me unmute you.
I hope so. You know, nobody ever wants to go down on anything. You never want your grades to go down, even if it's not your fault. But you know what? Our clients count on us, and we literally have helped thousands and thousands of people over the years obtain just so much money, money that you can't even imagine the lives it's changed, especially, and I said this a few weeks ago, especially to those individuals that have family in other countries and are able to send money down. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you're up here in the United States and you're working hard and you're sending, you know, $150, $200 a week or a month down to your family in Guyana or Trinidad or Jamaica. And then all of a sudden you get into an accident and things have gone terribly wrong. You're not working. You're not able to send the money down there to the people that are counting on you. And then you choose an attorney and you choose Adam Handler, the case handler. And then all of a sudden Handler says to you, I can settle your case for $500,000, $800,000, $1.2 million, $3 million, $5 million, tax-free. And now all of a sudden, instead of sending $150 down to your family, you're sending $150,000 or $300,000 to help finish that home on that property that your family's had for 5 or 6 generations, or to help your brother or your son start or foster their business down there. I mean, what we do is not only life-changing here for the client in the United States, but it's life-changing for the client's family if they live elsewhere. And that's something that I'm so absolutely proud of, and something that really drove home to me and hit me right in the face when I went down to Jamaica last November. You know, I was talking to I was at this wonderful hotel in Montego Bay, and you know, people, what do you do? I'm an attorney. Oh, are you that Irie attorney? I said, yeah, you heard of me? Yeah. They hear the show. It's, you know, word spreads down there. And I asked them, you know, well, what would you say if I told you $100,000, which is a very modest settlement, you know, as far as what we do, $100,000, how would that change your life? They couldn't even wrap their heads around what $100,000 US would be able to do for them down there. So literally life-changing money for life-changing injuries. And one perfect example of that, if I may, is this case. And why I say this is a perfect example is because the gentleman that won this case moved back to Jamaica, started a business, finished that home. I wasn't saying that for, you know, for my own good health. That was exactly a true life success story about what happened to this gentleman after he came back. And I wanted to share that story. It was a Bronx case, okay, in which I was able to obtain a verdict for this guy. And what happened was he was rear-ended by an Aaron's furniture truck. I don't know if everybody knows Aaron's furniture. They rent you furniture instead of you having to buy it. And you know, he was whacked in the rear end. Not unbelievable damage, as you can see, but damage nonetheless. And he had injuries to his lumbar spine, which is his the lower back area of your body. And he had a herniated disc, and he required some injections, and he was out of work for about a year, no surgery. And the insurance company was offering, I think, 30 or 40,000. As we scroll later, I'll be able to tell you what it was, but it was just not enough. We knew we needed to get as close to $500,000 as possible. That was always my number, 500 grand, $500,000, and we walk away. And as you could see from the quote, the client did say everything was a 10. I had direct contact to Adam 24/7, which is absolutely true. All my clients have my cell phone. We text, we email, we call. You don't always have this type of ability with other lawyers. I had other cases Adam handled, and he did a great job in those as well. Everything he promised he would do is done to the maximum. I would recommend him to the world. And he became a friend through this process, obviously. And the point I'm trying to make is, when I made a final offer of 500,000 and the insurance company refused to pay it, we went to trial and we took a verdict, and the jury came back with $831,803.85. Now, I know that sounds like a weird number, but how did we get to that number? That was money for his pain and suffering, money for his time out of work, and money for any outstanding medical bills. So we even got the 85 cents. The jury believed in our case so much that they even gave him the loose change for his case, right? Because what I always say to the jury at the end of any case during summations is, this is my client's one and only shot at financial justice. There are no redos. He can never come back to you and say, oh, I need more money for my case. My back is still hurting. I still have medical bills. I'm still out of work. We got to get it right, and we got to get it right this time around.
Let me ask you something, Adam. How does it feel when, an insurance company offers you $500,000 and you have the balls, big balls, to turn down $500,000? How do you do it?
Well, I tell you, I don't know what it's like to have big balls, but I will tell you, I have what's called chutzpah. And if you've ever heard that term, it's I've got the drive, I've got the determination, I've got the fortitude to be able to withstand that pressure. Because 500 grand, maybe we would have accepted that early on, but as the trial was developing and as the evidence was coming in, there was no way in hell I was going to take 500 because I knew that the jury was going to give more. Everything I was saying, they were like, everything the other guy was saying, they're like, and you pick up on those things. And
that's experience.
Yeah, I'm like so excited talking about this, and that's something I really am missing right now.
You know what happens when you're in the sea, okay, and you show fear and there's a shark nearby? You know what happens?
You get banged for $831,000.
Exactly. The shark comes at you.
But my point is that during summation, when I said to the jury, this is the one only shot, I always say to them, we're asking for fair compensation, nothing more, nothing less. We're not asking for a penny more than he's entitled to, but you certainly shouldn't award him a penny less than he's entitled to. And They got it right. They gave us everything we asked for. They got it right. I remember after the trial, the jurors were coming up to me asking for my business card. Man, if I'm ever hurt, I want you to be my lawyer. That was like an interview process. We spent 2 weeks on that case. And just another successful result. We can't guarantee a successful result, but I got to tell you, nobody is going to fight harder for you than Adam Handler, the case handler. Nobody's going to fight harder for you than Matt Goodstein. All right. That's what we do. We know one speed and one speed only. And that's 150% full speed ahead because you got one chance to get it right. One chance, one choice, your case handler, and just another wonderful story to share with everybody out there about how we truly made a difference because we fought the fight and we won the battle.
We need to start the show off on 93.5 FM with true success stories, man. I'm telling you that right now. Okay, we got to start off with that. Okay, jump right into your true success stories because people need to actually hear. And I mean, yeah, everybody knows, but still, there are those people got new listeners every time. So, Adam, we got to get that going. You've got so many. I mean, yeah, visit thecasehandler.com, ladies and gentlemen, and do remember 844-774-3529. The Cruising with the Case Handler is a show on personal injury and yes, immigration. Once again, the firm Pollock, Isaac, and DeSico, easily remembered, PPID. Call them today. If you ever get hurt in an accident, there's one number that you need after you call 911, and that is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529.
By the way, we're going to bring, speaking of success stories, sorry to interrupt you. We have a gentleman who I spoke to yesterday, a client of ours, that he wants to come on the show and talk about what we did for him and how we changed his life. We have to discuss when we're going to do that. But it's actually, he's the right guy to bring on because I think every person in our immigration department touched his case at one time or another. Case went on for how long, Nelson? 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years. And there was, again, as Conrad just pointed out, literally, I think there was 5 different attorneys involved in his case at some point.
Yeah,
So,
I
and
think, I think
I
we
spoke to him yesterday because he just gave us a really nice review on Facebook, and I spoke to him yesterday, and he wants to come on and talk about it. So we have to find the time, hopefully next week, that we can get him on. So let's discuss that.
we're
guys.
getting a lot of questions in. You want to do a few
Sure.
more questions?
Absolutely.
I
All
see
right.
that on your feed.
All right. Okay. Let's get back to the questions here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the one right there. Man, I'm telling you, people are popping the questions in these days. All right. Everyone wants to know, if I overstay my time in the U.S., will they automatically cancel my visa?
So you want me? I can answer that. If you overstay more than 6 months, you're subject to a 3-year bar. If you overstay more than a year, you're subject to a 10-year bar. If you overstay your visa, you've accrued what's called unlawful presence. In order to return to the United States, if you plan to come as a visitor, you will need a waiver. In order to have a successful waiver, you have to demonstrate 3 things: the risk of harm to society if the waiver is approved, the seriousness of the applicant's prior immigration violation, and that the nature of the applicant's reason for wanting to revisit or re-enter the United States. If you can convince an immigration officer that obviously, you satisfy those 3 requirements, they may let you back as a visitor. But if you overstay your visa, again, by more than 6 months, you are subject to a 3-year bar. More than a year, you are subject to a 10-year bar. It's unlawful presence.
I want to just add, in addition to that, let's say he stays only an extra week. His visa expires today and he leaves a week from today. Doesn't matter. You might not be subject to any of the bars that Nelson just mentioned, but the day you overstay your visa, by law, that visa is then become null and void. It is null and void. So even if you overstay by a day without permission, that visa is no longer valid. If you leave the country, yeah, you won't be subject to the bar as long as you haven't stayed 6 months or a year or overstayed. But if you overstay by a day, you leave, you will need a new visa to come back to the United States. And you'll have to explain to the U.S. consulate post where you apply for that visa why you overstayed.
Okay. All right. Here's one from yesterday. Let me just quickly knock this one out. My 70-year-old father, 2 years RE entry travel permit is expiring in 3 weeks. He's diabetic and hypertensive and is scared to travel to USA because of the corona pandemic in the USA. Is there any way he can avoid his travel and yet maintain his re-entry permit to travel at a later date? Do you expect any positive guidelines later from USCIS regarding green card holders unable to travel in these extraordinary circumstances?
All right, here's the deal with that. First off, a re-entry permit is permission by the immigration that's issued by the Immigration Service. Actually, it's a passport, a white passport. It allows permanent residents, only permanent residents are eligible for re-entry permits, but allows them to stay out of the country for up to 2 years. Typically with a green card, you have to be back in the U.S. for within every year. You can't ever stay out for more than a year, otherwise you lose your green card. And I'm simplifying, it's a little more complicated than that. But for a re-entry permit, those people with green cards that want to stay out of the country more than a year, they apply for re-entry permit, and if it's issued, they can stay out for up to 2 years. Now, in order to apply for re-entry permit, you must be in the United States when you make that application. Same thing. You have a re-entry permit and you need to get a new one, another 2-year permit. You must be in the United States to make that application. So in this case, if her father is not in the US, he is not going to be able to get a new re-entry permit. Now, given the circumstances, if he can't return, and I think she said 3 weeks to go for the expiration. If he can't return, at some point, assuming he returns soon, maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months, 3 months, at that point, when he comes back, if he can explain why he didn't get back, they might let it slide. Given the circumstances, what's going on right now, they might let him slide. What I would do in a circumstance like that, I would try to get him into the American consulate post. Well, actually, they're closed. Document his efforts, all right, to try to get back to the United States, whenever that's going to be. Maybe he'll get back in, but I wouldn't wait too long.
Absolutely. And here's another one. My parents have the F4 immigrant visa, and they have to enter the United States before 10th of July for the first time. Are they affected by the executive order? If our country's airspace do not open up on time and the threat of the virus has not subsided by then, is there a possibility of visa extension? if they're able.
That's an interesting question. First off, it's not a visa. F4 meaning they applied for an immigrant visa. It was a sibling petition. So her brother applied for them. And apparently the case has been approved because the visa was issued. So they basically are eligible to get a green card the minute they arrive in the United States. I don't believe they're subject to the ban. They've already been approved. So I would get on the plane and get here before that thing expires. I think she said July 10th. Get on the plane, make that entry. You don't even need to come for long. Come, enter the country for a day, and then leave. At least then your immigrant visa is effective. You'll get your green card. You're all set. The ban only applies to those people that haven't been approved yet. So if they hadn't gotten the immigrant visa hadn't been approved yet, when they go to the American consulate, that would be subject to the ban. Yes, but because they're already approved, they're not subject.
Okay. Here's another one from yesterday. I'm filing. I don't know if I did this one yesterday. I'm filing an I-864 for my wife and her child. I gather I need 2 I-864 forms because the child has a separate I-130. I didn't put him on my wife's I-864 as it said not to. When completing the I-864 for a child, he's not the principal immigrant. Where do I put this info? I didn't do that one yet.
I'll defer to Conrad. It looks like the coffee's kicking in. So, go ahead, Conrad. Why don't you answer that?
Well, it sounds like it sounds like he's a citizen and he applied for his wife and for his child. He's going to need separate I-864 applications. Yes.
And don't forget about the I-944.
Well, if he started it sounds like he started the process before February 20th. It's hard to say. It depends on where they are, but let's assume the family's not in the country. If they're not in the country, they file I-130s before February 20th. If he's already talking about the A-64, so he's at the NVC stage at this point. So I'm sure that application, if they're out of the country, I'm sure that the application process began before February, and he's working on the affidavits now, and they're going to need separate affidavits. They wouldn't be subject to that rule. If he's just applying for adjustment of status now, if they're in the United States, then you're right. Then they're going to need that 944 because I don't think he filed yet.
Absolutely. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's called Cruising with the Case Handler. All right. Make sure you check it out each and every single weekday in the tri-state area, live on 93.5 WVIP FM at 8:30 a.m. Myself, Adam Handler, we host the show along with our guest host, Nelson Maverick, Conrad Pollock. Did I say Nelson Maverick? I keep doing that. I keep doing that. Nelson Madrid and Conrad Pollock. Okay, respectively, the Maverick and the Maestro. All right, so check that out. We speak on personal injury. We speak on immigration. And also we come on Saturdays, okay, in retrospect at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 12 noon. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard a wealth of information here. Dial the number 844-774-3529. You never know when you're going to need one of these attorneys. As you can hear from the depth and the experience and the knowledge, they know exactly what to do in your situation. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. People watching Facebook, you're watching David Squeezanich's Facebook page and all the other pages I have, and also the Case Handlers Facebook page, and also Paula Pollock, Isaac, and Desika's Facebook page, which reminds me, Adam, and Conrad and Nelson. I don't know if you guys can do it, but you need to add the WhatsApp module on your Facebook page. There's an app that you can add on your Facebook page so people can actually WhatsApp you. Won't necessarily show your phone number, so they can WhatsApp you without them knowing your number, asking questions. And I think it's an excellent tool because people can WhatsApp you from anywhere in the world or anywhere they are at any time directly.
I'm about that right now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful app. It's what I use. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see a WhatsApp icon. You can just click on that WhatsApp icon and send me your question or send me information. Adam, you definitely need it. Okay.
I have it. Need it. Come on, man. I invented it. I told you about it.
Oh, you have the what? Oh, okay. All right. No problem. All right. It's a pretty cool tool, ladies and gentlemen, and it works perfectly. So once again, what I'm trying to get at, Adam at the beginning of the year was very receptive. Adam said, yes, Squeeze, radio is great and everything and all of that, and I love it, the Caribbean community, respects it. And I said, Adam, we need to go social. And he was very receptive in going more social. And we have grown tremendously, immensely, and I'm very happy. But what we need is you. We need for you to promote this show.
Tip your waiter.
Yeah, tip your waiter. It's very, very important because, I mean, the more I participate in this show, the more I feel like I'm doing what it is that I was put here to do on this planet. I feel accomplished. You know, I feel like I'm doing the right thing every single day by sharing these attorneys with every one of you. We all need them. At some point, we are going to need attorneys. If it's buying a house, we need a real estate attorney. Who are you going to call? PPID. You need immigration help because you're filing for someone. Who are you going to call? PPID. You get hurt in an accident. It's going to happen. You're going to get hurt. A family member is going to get hurt. A friend is going to get hurt. Who are you going to call? PPID, the case handler. So what I'm saying is share this page that you're watching. Tip your waiter, as Adam Handler, the case handler, says, okay? And share the page. And also, of course, send the number to a friend. If there's one thing you do today, text the number of this law firm to a friend or family member, or even a foe. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. If my team could actually put that number up more often, I really would appreciate it when we're doing the show. 844-774-3529. Once again, make the call, lock the number into your phone, into your mobile device, wherever you store your numbers, and look out for these attorneys helping you, ladies and gentlemen, in the future. There's so much. And once again, don't file your immigration case yourself. And obviously, you're not going to represent yourself if you get hurt in an accident. You're going to call the case handler. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. Must remind you that this has been an attorney advertisement brought to you by the law firm Pollock, Isaac, and DeSico, located at 225 Broadway on the 3rd floor. And of course, prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. However, by now watching the show and everything that you have heard of what it is that Adam Handler has done for the past 15 years, settling well over $110 million, and also the depth of the immigration attorneys that you have also heard here, Conrad Pollock and Nelson Maverick, why would you want to go anywhere else? You shouldn't. Call them, 844-774-3529. With that said, we're concluding today's show. It's been a great show. Once again, thank you so much. Be safe, ladies and gentlemen, in this climate. Gentlemen, you want to bid your...
Have a great weekend. The weather's going to be wonderful. But
Tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day. Enjoy it.
let's get it out. Let's get some.
Absolutely.
Good weekend.
Take care, people. Thanks.